Hey there, Julian from MemberStack here, and in this video I want to talk about something super important which a lot of people are questioning once they start using Wized, and that is, are the pages that are generated by Wized bad for SEO? What's the deal with that? So on and so forth. So this is going to be a general video. First, I'm going to talk about it a little bit, and then I'm going to show you how to actually set up these dynamically generated pages in Wized using some random weather API that I found. But whether you're doing that from Xano, Supabase, Firebase, whatever it is that you're doing, it's pretty much the same thing. So first things first, talking about those pages. The main concern is people say they're client-side generated pages. And if you don't know what that means, that basically means that it is not a traditional page that lives somewhere on your server. Basically, once that page is loaded, and it's not going to have a slash, it's going to be a question mark. It's going to request that data and then generate it on the user's computer. And traditionally, that has been not very easy for Google to index. That being said, I am not any SEO expert by any means, and Google is changing a lot. A lot of different sites are now doing this, generating pages on the client side, on the user side, rather than using the traditional method. And Google understands that and is slowly getting better. I've read some things from Google saying that it now isn't going to hurt your SEO. Is that true? I don't know. I've read some conflicting things. So that is basically the concern in a nutshell. And the alternative is, let's say you're using the Webflow CMS. It is generating just standard pages. When you go on, the pages are built using slashes. It would be your domain /post /name instead of your domain /post question mark name equals blah, blah, blah. So that is something that I've seen people ask about. That's something that I personally have asked about. And that the question is it worth it to you for it to possibly not be as good for SEO? Now, if you're using Webflow, the only alternative to that, actually there's two alternatives to that. The first one is using the Webflow CMS, which is great until you have over 10,000 CMS items. Then it's a bit tricky. And for that reason, if you're building a web app, I would not recommend it. I definitely would not say that the SEO benefits outweigh the risks. And the other way is using a reverse proxy to serve your pages. And we don't have any videos about that yet. I would like to, but it's something that's fairly known in the Webflow community. As for what it is, it's basically using a middle layer in order to serve your pages. I don't know how that would work with Wized. That's something I'd like to explore though. So anyways, let's get into it right now and talk about how to actually do this. So here we are. We have a project here built in Wized with nothing set up besides Wized attributes. I have the MemberStack script installed. I have the Wized script installed. That's it. So let's go ahead and set this up from scratch. So we have these two things right here, and they redirect to, as you can see in Webflow, they redirect to this weather page with a URL parameter, city equals, and then the name of the city. So right now in Wized, if we go ahead and click this, it's going to take us to this page, and it's, useless. It just says city temperature. So let's go ahead and make that work. First things first, let's go ahead and set up our app. Let's call it weather, rest, and then let's go ahead and grab this URL right over here. /weather/ that should be good. So let's go ahead and paste that in. Return that, check, correct. So, okay, now that we have that, what we're going to want to do is set up a request. So let's go ahead and call this get weather app weather URL endpoint return, and then let's grab these curly brackets and do this right here. So, and parameter, is that parameter in? Yes, parameter city Belgrade. So that's not showing up. Let's go ahead and try to refresh. Okay, so I figured out what the issue is. I need to define it in the data store. New parameter, let's go ahead and call it city. There we go. Okay, so now we're seeing that. Now we're good to go. Let's go back into our request here for get weather. And then let's put that in. And as we can see here, Belgrade. So let's go ahead and check the structure. And okay, we don't need to have it within these brackets. I think that was a mistake on my end. So let's go ahead and remove the brackets and literally just return n.parameter.city. And then it should be Belgrade. So great. Okay, so that is the URL endpoint that we want to return. That seems perfectly fine. We don't need any parameters or any headers. So wonderful. Now let's go ahead and actually trigger that. Actually, first, what method are we using? I believe it is get. Doesn't say, but that is only logical, isn't it? So let's go ahead and do get. There we go. Okay, so we just ran that, and as we can see, it is working right there. Now what we're going to want to do is set up an action to run that. So let's do get weather, type event, trigger, page starts loading, actions perform request, request get weather. There we go. And then for conditional, let's go ahead and do parameter, sorry, whoops, return parameter city. How do we want to check this actually? You know what? Easier way. Return n dot path equals weather. Equals. I am new to JavaScript, so there we go. True. Okay. So, all right, now we have this. Now we have this running correctly. And the next thing that we're going to want to do is actually go ahead and set these things right here. So let's go ahead and do actions again, and let's do set city, type, element, apply to w name, actions set text, value, return, and then let's go ahead and grab the name of the city from there, if it's even returned in here. Otherwise, we can grab it from our, there we go. Let's just do that. So now it should show Belgrade. Wonderful. Hopefully it's doing that. It is showing Belgrade. So now let's go ahead and do the weather here, the temperature. Let's duplicate that and then do set temp, change our attribute here, and then return a different value. Now we're going to get it right from here. Temperature, just like that. 25C it says. So, beautiful. Now, as we can see, there's a bit of a load. You can solve that with Wized Cloak and some loaders, but anyways, that doesn't matter for this video. So now let's actually go ahead and open our site and see if it is working not only for that Belgrade one that we tested, but also for the Zagreb one that we have not tested. So I'm going to click that, and as we can see, we're getting Zagreb 20 degrees Celsius. Now let's go ahead and see if this is really working by adding a brand new one right here. Let's change this to Sarajevo, and let's change this item here, city, Sarajevo. Now let's publish that, and if this is working, first, while we're doing that, I'm going to go on my phone and I'm going to search the weather in Sarajevo to see if this is correct. Let's see. All right, so we should be getting about 22 degrees Celsius. Let's go ahead and see if that is what it gives us. Let's go back here. Refresh. Now we can see Sarajevo. And if you look in this bottom corner right over here, you can see what URL is being made. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And now we can see this. And it says 15 degrees Celsius, which implies that there's something weird with the API. That being said, we are correctly generating the pages, so at least that is good. And that's about it. This works the same if you're doing it through Supabase, any database, any API, whatever it may be. That is how these pages are generated. So hopefully this helped. If it did, drop a comment. I'll talk to you soon. Good luck in the competition, which just started today, and have a great day.